be elected judge. And I guess we would start
How much time?
in 1 minute on these questions.
Okay.
We'll start Judge Ulmer.
All right. How my personal experience at that college judge. I was taught something early in my judicial career that I have tried to do fastidiously every day. And that is when you see that person standing in front of you, no matter who they are, what race, what gender, think of them as, and sometimes they are people who are hard to like because I try some criminal cases and not any murder cases yet, but frankly there's some people that as I said are hard to like. But what I try to do is to think of that person as a member of my family and to treat them in the way that I would treat that family member. So I do think that your personal experience, putting that sort of a spin on things, thinking about every person as an individual, showing compassion toward everyone, very important, and I try to do that every day. See the little wheel, that means my time is up.
I would answer the question this way. My personal experience informs my values. The values that I grew up with, the values that I found and that were forged in the different personal experiences that I've had in the Peace Corps, in the Army, working with different people, doing pro bono work. One thing I've learned is that you have to treat people as individuals, just like Judge Ulmer said. I've been blessed with having had a lot of experiences in dealing with people. And I like people. I really do. And the thing that I like about people is that I can respect them for the values that they bring to this world. They're just like you, me, all of us. And if we're going to have a good justice system, all of those people need to know that they count in their own way. Thank you.
Hi again, everyone. What I do as a judge pro tem is what I plan to do if elected to the bench full time, and that is I'm going to rule on the facts and the law of each case. And in doing that, my personal experience and my personal qualifications do come into play in just how I treat the people in my courtroom, how I see different issues, how approachable I am to people. That's where I think that my personal experiences are going to come into play, and treating everyone fairly and trying to identify with them and understand that this is a difficult and sometimes traumatic experience for them and be open in that way. But as far as making rulings, I'm going to, my personal qualifications have made me who I am, so they come into play a little bit, but I will try the best I can to make rulings based on the law and the facts before me. Thank you.
I believe that in every courthouse in San Francisco, whether it's the juvenile courthouse, the civil courthouse, or the criminal courthouse, everyone who walks into a courtroom, whether they're the defendant, the plaintiff, the victim, the accused, a witness, a juror, court staff, and even the lawyers, everyone deserves to be treated with dignity, humanity, and respect. In my personal experiences, the stories I have growing up and becoming a professional, becoming a mother, and being a lesbian, and being a survivor, all of these things, all of these personal experiences are things I will bring to the court with me and allow me a unique understanding of various populations that come in. Other marginalized, disenfranchised folks, people of color, certainly victims' experiences. In my personal experiences, what I have, I will bring them to the court. At the same time, of course, I will listen to the facts and rule according to the law. But I think what makes the system work as well as it does is when you have a judge that can understand a diverse experience of people who come before that court. And that is what providing justice for all really is, and that is what I will do.
Well, having worked with judges for the last 20+ years, what I've learned is that the law is seldom black and white, that judges frequently have choices, even on a minor issue like whether a certain piece of evidence is admissible or whether same-sex couples can get married. There is a point at which a judge's personal values and personal experience inform his or her judgment. And I would say that that's another reason that I'm an advocate for diversity on the bench. We need judges who come from every background because the people who come before the court come from every background. I think there are few judges who have my particular background. You know, I was raised in a welfare family by a single mother. I have that experience of knowing what it is to be disenfranchised. And guess what? Most of the people who get caught up in the tentacles of the law, they're the disenfranchised. Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to make a particular ruling on someone's behalf because he's gay or she's poor, but I am saying that, as I said at the beginning of my statement, I do understand the human dimensions of the judgments that judges make, and that I would bring my own experience into making those decisions.
I think as a judge, your personal life experience shouldn't affect your rulings. I think that you should follow the law, especially as a trial court judge, to figure out what the law is and apply it to a specific set of facts. However, I think my personal story enables me to relate to a large segment of society, from a very poor person to a very well-educated person to a law person. And I think what people want when they come to court is to be treated with respect, is to be heard. As Dan Dean said, you know, a lot of people feel like they come into court, they're not treated with respect, they're not heard, they're not given their day in court. And I just think my personal background allows me to relate to people from a wide variety of backgrounds, to treat them with respect. And also, I think having a diverse judiciary also provides the public with a perception that there's fairness. That it's not all one group on the bench and another group that are defendants or litigants or what have you. So it's kind of a two-way street. I think it's the way that I would treat people, and it's the way that people would feel seeing someone different on the bench. And that helps to provide a perception that the court system is fair. Thank you.
The question asks to describe to you a personal experience. And so here's one that I still think about to this day. When I was a boy, my father was a lawyer, and he was asked to defend a Holocaust survivor, a man who lost his family in the Holocaust. And he was guilt-ridden. And so on Yom Kippur, this man broke into a commercial establishment and waited to be caught. He was caught. My father took the case. And it was explained to me as I got older to understand the total picture, and that my father was able to argue successfully that this man should not be put in jail, but he should be given counseling and treated with some compassion and understanding given what had happened to him. Additionally, the family for this man was poor. They were Hasidic Jews, but they did not have much money. And for about 6 months, when I would be playing on the front lawn of my house, the family would bring a box of fresh produce to my house. And as a young boy, I thought, you know, this is very unusual. Why is this family coming to bring a box of fresh produce every week for several months? And it was explained to me that this was how they could pay for the services that my father had provided in the case. And when I became a teenager and would ask more questions with more sophistication, and still, that experience reminds me compassion is important and understanding, as well as treat people with dignity, whatever they bring to their involvement in the court system.
Thanks. And